It's a story as old as rock and roll music itself. A bunch of schoolboys sharing a passion for making music get together and form a band. They write some tunes, play some gigs and, thanks to a lucky break, record a single that skyrockets up the music charts. Well, once it seemed that was to be just the start of the story for Australian 60s psychedelic band King Fox, which had a big hit in 1969 with the appropriately titled Unforgotten Dreams. But intriguingly, that's where the King Fox narrative abruptly ended. The band disappeared, virtually never to be heard from again. Until, that is, this week, when the band finally released their first album, one that had been recorded and then thought lost 38 years ago. Nick Grimm was there for the launch.
Now, I would like to make this official that this is the official launch of 70207. For King Fox, an album that was done 38 years ago.
It might seem a night much like any other at the Lane Cove Club on Sydney's North Shore. Yet inside these low-key and very suburban surroundings, something quite extraordinary is about to occur. Tonight, these 5 men will enjoy a mind-blowing, life-changing experience, one that will transport them all the way back to the psychedelic 60s. It was almost 40 years ago when this group of Sydney schoolboys entered a band competition on commercial radio just for a lark.
They're all in Year 11. They had an original song called Unforgotten Dreams.
When I think over the times we've shared, the world seems a much better place.
Veteran record producer Martin Erdman was the man behind the competition, and he quickly realised the schoolboy psychedelic band was something out of the ordinary. If the 5 16-year-olds were shocked when they won the competition, they were in for something else again when their single Unforgotten Dreams became an overnight hit.
And it shot up the charts to top 5 position in 69-70, and it stayed on the charts for nearly 6 months.
So for those who don't remember the 60s, who were King Fox?
I think King Fox was known as the schoolboy band.
Yes.
We're very busy. We had a record in the charts. We were doing radio interviews. We were going on TV.
Yeah.
We're doing the odd concert, and trying to create songs, trying to write songs at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
Busy guys.
Yeah, it was actually. I've seen that. You know,
So what makes this night different from any other involving a bunch of baby boomers basking in their former glories? Well, tonight will quite literally bring Australia's listening public a blast from the past. For years, Australian rock historians have speculated about a long-lost King Fox album that mysteriously was never released.
When the single first came out, everybody thought this was a really hot new album band, and they were all expecting an album, but there never was an album until now.
Someone give me a cue.
But this isn't a case of a group of old musos trying to recreate their old sound. For the so-called schoolboy band, it is their old sound.
During the school holidays of January 1970, we recorded an album, a complete album of songs, but that was never mixed, never released. I guess it was a mysterious thing that people just weren't quite sure, because let's face it, after 38 years, and we hadn't released it, maybe it was a myth. But tonight we can put that myth to rest, because this is the launch of that Unforgotten album.
I feel euphoria.
Yep, it's fantastic. Yeah. It's closure. It's brilliant.
Closure in what way?
Something that was started a long time ago that was, for me, at a personal level, meant a lot in my heart. And the closure's come, and I feel really good about it.
So why wasn't the album ever released when it was supposed to be back in 1970? In fact, there's long been a bit of mystery about why the band broke up when they were on the verge of becoming the next big things.
We're pretty excited about it, and then for some mystical reason, the whole project went cold.
And I guess we just forgot about the Unforgotten Dreams.
The band rolled on, so to speak.
The band rolled on, yeah. They all went off in their own ways.
It had been widely rumoured that the band was forced to break up when their disapproving parents confiscated their instruments. But according to the band members themselves, it was triggered by an intrusive tabloid newspaper article that mocked their affluent eastern suburbs backgrounds.
And we had an agreement with our parents that the band was okay as long as it didn't, we didn't publicise our schools and our families. And all of a sudden there was an article on
the article I'm talking about,
full-page article in the Sunday Mirror talking about our families and schools, and that was the catalyst to the finish of that time.
The shit hit the fan, yeah, basically.
Eventually, the members of King Fox found other success individually. Billy Field's raspy vocals helped him find fame in the 1980s.
This is what art's all about, you know. You make things that you think are good, and you throw them out there, and if they make 10 cents or whatever, you don't really care because you're an artist.
These days, Billy Field runs his own recording studio on the New South Wales Central Coast. Andy Evans is still belting a drum kit and is nowadays regarded one of the best in the business here in Australia. Peter Muller now works in healthcare, and David King has a successful furniture business. Paul Radcliffe is now himself a successful music producer.
I'm sure that in the minds of the boys themselves now, they look back and say, what if? What if we had have released the album in 1970? What if the band hadn't broken up? What would we be doing now?
The members of King Fox might wish they could have their time again, but then again, they realise the time they had was unique.
We are artists. We're at a very magical time that this world was in, and we were in the position of being able to make something that was completely new and totally different through music.
I think it's really fantastic, and it makes you realise that if we'd have all stayed together as a band, we would have done some wonderful things. But it's wonderful in itself, and that's it. You know, it's the end of the episode.